I got distracted this summer. It was one of those, the good news is, the bad news is. Good news is that Aminatou came out while I was doing one of my road trips, family visits, so I could get the deck without a problem. I know in my specific target it was the ones that they had, or the one they had was bought out, but I did find it, so I'm very happy about that. That was the good news. The bad news is that the road trip really sidetracked me with Yu-Gi-Oh! And I just got sidetracked. That's all. There's my zombie mini cube, and I'll be talking about it later in these videos that I'm going to make with Aminatou. So let me get the tripod ready and then get going with the first installment. So I've got a good selection of cards for possible ways in which to expand the deck. But first I'm going to talk about the deck. As I go through the cards, of course, I'm going to be mentioning things that I would like to do. Now, I know at some point maybe they're going to sell this deck online and I'll be able to buy at least Aminatou and some of the other cards. Right now that's not the case. So right now I'm limited by the fact that I'm not playing this deck yet. So this is all very theoretical. And maybe some of you guys and girls will have better ideas of what to do with this deck. Now the thing that's got me excited that I really like is the ultimate and the changeover, where you give your cards to another player and then some other player gives you their cards. And then with the -1, which somebody pointed out in my commentary video, you can recover them. The big thing to read in the -1 is exile another target permanent you own. You own, not you control. There are many cards in Magic that have you with you own, all the flicker cards, and I'll have some of them that I'll mention later in another video. But this is key because maybe you give something to your opponent that you want back, and then with that -1, because you own it even though they have it temporarily because you gave it to them, so they control it but you own it, and then return it to the battlefield under your control. So you're not yeah, it's really good. So I don't really have any other cards in my selection that can do that. And so Aminatou is unique in this group of cards, which means that once I think about how to change the deck, once I think about different avenues for the builds, even if I go down with one of the other commanders and make it the commander for that specific build, Aminatou is going to stick around and be in every one of those builds. I'd like it to be that way. The +1 is good filtering. And so you draw a card, then you put a card from your hand on top of your library. So that means that you draw it first, then you select from whatever you had plus that card. So that's pretty good. Now Aminatou does not protect itself, and that's a problem. All right, so Aminatou can really get knocked out fairly easily. It's a 3-drop with a 3 loyalty, so it comes in you +1. It's only a 4. So that's something to think about in the deck. Now I'm going to discuss the the junior commanders in here. Now the Varina is all about zombies, and this is why my little zombie mini cube is making a guest appearance. Now I'm not going to make a zombie build as part of these videos because I still need to update my zombie deck, my zombie cube, for all the great zombies that have been issued in the last year or so, last 2 years. But this is definitely it's got a future at its own commander, and I'm sure it's going to take Aminatou in that build. Okay, so whenever you attack with one or more zombies, so you're going to be wanting to attacking with zombies. Draw that many cards and discard that many cards. You gain that much life. You gain a lot of life. That's very interesting. So I'll think about that in the future. Again, these are more thinking videos than build videos. I think maybe in the last one I'll just try a fixed build, just how to make Aminatou stronger with the cards in my selection. I think I've got a really nice selection of cards to consider. Okay, so then now this card is very, very interesting. I really like these mathematical games. So when it attacks, reveal the top card of your library. If that card's converted mana cost is odd, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Otherwise, draw a card. That's great. I want to think about this one also and make a separate build. Once again, in that build, I will include Aminatou. And I may even want to make a build that's a zombie build with a bunch of odd casting zombies. I don't know yet, but this is why I think Aminatou really won the contest in my mind and in many people's minds as the best commander in Commander 2018. Then in the case of the ninjas, this card actually turns out, I was just looking in Goldfish, is the most valuable card I think of all of these products, all 4 builds, all 4 decks. And that's great, and it's a powerful card. The problem that I'm having with it is that I want to build a ninja deck with this card, and I can't. There just aren't enough ninjas in Magic right now. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, again, you want to have a bunch of ninjas. Reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to that card's converted mana cost. I would leave all my fat miracles in there, and one of them would come up and I would smack somebody for that. So that's a good card, but I have to say that in the build that I want to make, that kind of makes Aminatou something special for me, I may take this guy out, or girl. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so on to the creatures. Now, there really aren't that many creatures in this deck, which I think is an interesting fact. Okay, so the deck has 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 23 creatures out of the 60 permanents. This guy is a winner. I would keep this guy in almost every single deck, even in the in a zombie deck. Okay, I would. Cheap Scrying comes in really handy. I would also keep this guy in. A balance type effect, I think it's pretty strong. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna ask people to sacrifice lands and creatures. This is really, I think this is really strong. These are mana order, by the way. Then this dude from Cans of Tarkir is also pretty strong, in my opinion. It cannot be blocked, and when it deals combat damage, you get to play the Manifest game. Now, Manifest is about creatures. You don't have a lot of creatures in this deck, and so this dude would actually be even better in a build where you try to maximize the number of creatures. I'm already at the 8-minute mark. I'm not sure if my commentary for this deck will make it to a single video, but I really want to take my time. I think there are many avenues in which this deck can go, and I think they're all really worth exploring. So I'll give you an example with some commanders that I have laying around in one of my piles. So let's see if they're here. Yeah, so if you go in here and you say, I want to go and do Esper enchantments, you can do Esper enchantments. I want to go and do Esper artifacts, you can do Esper artifacts. Out of these, you can do an Esper zombies build. And you can do a weirdo build with odd casting, odd CMC cards. Someday you'll be able to build a ninja deck. So yeah, this is why I'm not surprised that I'm having a lot of fun thinking about this particular commander precon. Of course, they're beginner products. They're expected to be expanded by new players. I'm a kind of a new player to Commander anyways, So that fits me perfectly well. I wish there had been some more money reprints. I mean, this deck could have easily used yet another Warm Coil engine, which I think should be reprinted in every Magic product. That's just my bias. This guy, for your mana filtering, I'm not sure that I would keep him. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure that I would keep him. I'm not sure if I would go, maybe in the Esper Artifacts build, I go crazy with it. Don't know. Okay. The Pegasus, yeah, it allows you to pull out a bunch of planes. Yeah, that's good. I have to think about it. I would take them out. The Loyal Dude from the Loyal Cycle has Lieutenant. Each opponent loses 3 life. Have me there. I would keep this card for sure. Anything that's a Sphinx in this deck is a candidate for taking out without even reading the card. Reveal cards, names, I don't know. Somebody may educate me about the value of this card, but I would take it out. Not enough ninjas, even though they're very disruptive. I've played against this dude, and yeah, I mean, he is really disruptive in a way that will help me by him being in my deck. I think when we go ninja crazy someday, yeah, but I would take him out. Actually, I'd probably take out both ninjas, just because. The Loyal Unicorn has Lieutenant, and Lieutenant's pretty good. Prevent all combat damage, so it'll help you slow down the game so you can get more setup time. I like it. I think it's good. I would keep it. This dude was a junk mythic when it was in standard. I would take him out. Each player reveals the top card of their library, loses life equal to that card's converted mana cost, then puts it into their hand. Yeah, I would take this guy out. Getting a little afternoon sunlight here. I don't know how it'll make this video. It will make it better or worse. We shall see when I see it. Because when I see it and I film it, I cannot tell. I can only tell once I'm watching it on YouTube. The Phyrexian Delver. I would take him out. It's a nice trick, but I would take him out. I would take this guy out for sure. The Djinn. Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's a staple of pre-constructed products for beginners. This guy is in for sure. I mean, this golem is so awesome. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast your commander from the command zone without paying its mana cost. Great recovery card, so I would definitely keep it. Maul Drifter does not need a discussion. It's in. It's fantastic. The Elemental. All creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. That can be incredibly powerful, and this deck really needs board wipes, so it's a keeper. Then the Demon. I really like it. I mean, you choose 2 players, and you're doubling the damage through the effect when it comes in. You only get to do it once. Yeah, I think I like it, and it's a flyer. I will keep it. This guy reads really well, but I'll probably get rid of it. I've been reading it and thinking about it, and I don't know. You're stealing something that dies, and you can tap it, so you can do it multiple times. Maybe you guys can educate me. It reads well, but I mean, it reads pretty good. But I'm not sure I would keep it, even if it's got a good effect. I think I want to use that 6-drop slot for something even better. Sphinx, I've got Tassa somewhere. I'm not sure if it's in my pile, so I would take this out and put Tassa in. Sarah Avatar is really great, but it's a 7-drop, and by the time you get to cast it, you're not going to have enough life for it to matter, in my opinion. So I'd take it out. the other ninja. So there's 3 ninjas in the deck. This guy's good. I mean, the ninjas are pretty good, but there's only 3 of them, so I'd take him out. I would take him out. Sphinx, pre-constructed regular, out. It's a nice card, but I would take it out. And I'd keep this one in, and I think I'm running out of time. Definitely keep the Enigma Sphinx.